We talk about the buyout market, and the name that's out there mainly, more than anything, of course, is Russell Westbrook. Mainly the two teams that Russell Westbrook has spoken to or that has spoken to him is reported to have been the Clippers, of course, and the Chicago Bulls. Now, I heard some sources say the Phoenix Suns also, but, that might be a little bit far-fetched. But who knows? There could be some sources out there where, that might actually be true, if based upon what's being put out there. But I do know the Bulls and the Clippers definitely have been in talks or are in talks with Russell Westbrook as we speak. And, the discussions are there, and nothing's definite, of course, but at the same time, it definitely seems like there is a possibility. But what a lot of people might not be talking about is that the Clippers might be trying to reunite with a former fan favorite, a former, Clipper that a lot of people liked, and definitely a lot of fans, admired, just his heart and his will and his desire to play, every day, every night, give you all he's got and give you a lot of his antics as well. And the name I'm talking about, of course, is Patrick Beverley. Now, a lot of people might not be speaking on the possible, situation or buyout situation with Patrick Beverley as being a potential candidate of that, situation. But there is a possibility that the Clippers possibly could reunite with Patrick Beverley. And, Patrick Beverley, to me, at this point, I don't really know if he can help the Clippers any more than what he's done in the past. I mean, of course, it would be nice, I guess, to see him on the Clippers, simply because, he's a part of the culture. He's definitely a part of everything they've built up to this point, and he was a part of everything, when it was him, Lou Williams, and Trez, going against the Warriors, a few years ago, back when Kawhi was on the Toronto Raptors, and, it was just them on the Clippers along with Danilo Gallinari, I believe. And they were just, a decent team, a decent, team with no superstar that, a lot of people thought that was kind of exciting to watch a little bit because they did have Lou Williams who could splash and get points and drop, is just a walking bucket, has he always been. Trez was a hard-nosed blue-collar dude, along with Patrick Beverley. And, a lot of Clippers fans really enjoyed that and really, embraced that. So, I mean, Patrick Beverley is always going to be, one of those household names when it comes to the Clippers, simply because of what he's brought, the type of culture he's brought, and, all that really resonates with a lot of fans who really, have been Clippers fans and stuck by this team through thick and thin in every situation, in every type of way. So I definitely respect that. I just don't know at this point how much Patrick Beverley can bring to the team. I mean, like I said, of course, it's nice to have him on the roster just because, it's only right to see him in a Clippers jersey more than any other jersey because that's the team he's supposed to play for and possibly retire, with, in a lot of people's minds out there probably who are Clippers fans. So, I respect that either way if you feel that way. I'm just saying at this point, I don't know if they really need Patrick Beverley because, as I said before, the three pieces that they've gotten really makes up for whatever Patrick Beverley can give them plus more because Patrick Beverley, plays defense somewhat. He can play defense at times when he's not focused too much on his antics of trying to get into somebody's head by doing some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So actually, now you got you got Eric Gordon out there. Eric Gordon is not the best defender, but he's physical, he's bigger, he's stronger, and he can bother people on the perimeter. As I said, we saw him do that last night against Devin Booker, one of the best perimeter scorers in the league. I mean, he actually held his own against Devin Booker, in the fourth quarter and actually, kept him quiet in some instances where it could have, maybe gave the momentum to the Suns and rather than, keep the momentum with the Clippers and allow them to win the game ultimately like they did. So there again, if you're getting that type of, if you're going to get that type of, gameplay from him, and I'm not saying Eric Gordon is a great defender or anything like that. I'm not even saying he's probably a better defender than Patrick Beverley, but in some people's eyes and maybe in some instances of the game, he might be a better defender than Patrick Beverley because he's more under control. He's not going to do no wild, crazy antics. And like I said, he will, get up in somebody defensively and he will try and he will definitely, bother them because he is physical and he is big. He is a big guy, so he has a big, big, well-rounded, stout body, that is hard to move. It's hard to move Eric Gordon because, like I said, he's got that, more physical strength than what people think that he has. And on top of that, he's a better shooter. He's a better scorer, and he can handle the ball, of course, a lot better because there's times where the Clippers have had Patrick Beverley, kind of somewhat run the point, at least for a few possessions. And, a lot of times it didn't work out. Sometimes it did. But, of course, Eric Gordon is more in route of being a point guard rather than Patrick Beverley is. So, I mean, there again, I feel like you wouldn't need Patrick Beverley's defense because they already have enough defense. And, like I said, one of the acquisitions they got, and Eric Gordon can play defense a little bit underratedly. So they don't need high level defense from Eric Gordon. They just need a balance of both, a balance of power, which is offense and defense. And, Eric Gordon will try on defense. He'll call some turnovers on defense at times. He'll make plays on defense at times, like we saw him do against Devin Booker, one of the best perimeter scorers, which were actually, took everybody into a frenzy, I thought, on Twitter when they were watching how he was, playing against Devin Booker. And on top of that, like I said, he can score. So now, of course, you got a better version. I'm not even gonna say a better version. You have better talent on your team rather than what Patrick Beverley can give you. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Beverley would just be a voice in the locker room more than anything, which is good to have veteran leadership and things like that. But he's never won a championship, and he's not giving the Clippers anything they already don't have. They got, Patrick Beverley's a little bit of a better 3-point shooter now, I would say, percentage-wise, but they got better 3-point shooters on their team. They just added 2 guys who could shoot threes just as good or better than Patrick Beverley, of course, Eric Gordon and Bones Highland. And defensively, Eric Gordon, like I said, underratedly could play defense. Bones is not that great defensively, but he makes up for a lot with his, point guard savviness. He can score. He's a blur. I mean, he can get to the rim anytime he wants to. He is really fast, but he can stretch the floor with his perimeter shooting as well. So that really makes him more of an asset. And on top of that, like I said, pushing the pace, they can't push the pace any faster than they could with Bones Highland. Not unless, of course, with John Wall, they had instances, but Bones can do it like more consistently. So there again, he's more valuable. And then, on top of that, there again, how much playing time would Patrick Beverley get, even if he was with the Clippers with all the depth that they have and all the pieces that they have already set all the way around. And Ty Lue pretty much has the lineups how he wants it almost now. The fact that Kawhi and PG are playing a little bit more and a little bit more consistent. So with that being said, where would Patrick Beverley fit in? You know what I'm saying? He might come in and play, minimal minutes here and there, but I mean, it really wouldn't be nothing substantial. It might be another situation of like what it was a couple seasons ago when he had a rift with the Clippers, when he tried to get a contract that he wanted from the Clippers, and the Clippers weren't willing to offer him that much because they thought his value went down over time and his production kind of went down, over time. Because defensively, like I said, I don't know if he's really this defensive prowess that, Patrick Beverley thinks that he is, but he can play defense at times when he's not talking himself out of his own game or trying to talk his way and get into the head of the opposing player who's on the opposite team, who's probably busting his ass at that time, you know what I'm saying? Or at least until Patrick Beverley gets into his head where he talks him out of his game. So, I mean, you got somebody, you would have, a household name in Patrick Beverley, but like I said, I don't know where he would fit in that much now based upon all the depth that they have. I don't really see much room for him in regards to him getting playing time. He would just more or less, possibly be on the bench as a cheerleader, get a few minutes here and there, come in and that would probably be it, for him. So, I mean, with all the way the team is now, I don't really see no room for Patrick Beverley. So I personally don't think the Clippers really should, go after him really. Because honestly, if you are going to bring up Patrick Beverley back, you want to be playing him. You want to be giving him playing time. And I just don't see him playing over Bones. I don't see him playing over Eric Gordon. I don't see him playing over guys like that. He might get some minutes here and there, but I mean, also there's other guys on the bench too, that can contribute as well. I'm saying Norman Powell's coming in there, putting up points the way he does. So it's like, it's a lot of different faces and bodies there now where Patrick Beverley's, talents might not work or might not be needed, as much. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pull the plug on that one. Of course, the Russell Westbrook thing is still in the air. We all know how I feel about that, but But either way, we'll see what happens. But I don't think they really. I don't know if Patrick Beverley is the focal point in regards to making a return. But there is a possibility, so we'll leave it out there and see what happens. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Also hit the notification bell, subscribe if you haven't. And hey, till next time.